All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome to Fresh Brew Lasers. This is one of my first videos, if not my first video, depending on what I upload. So I appreciate you checking it out and seeing this video here. As the video says for the title there, wood deck box. We're going to create some wood deck boxes for your Magic card collection. So we're going to look at how easy it is to make that. I'm not going to lie, it wasn't necessarily the easiest thing in the world to prep out because you have to make sure things line up. So let me go ahead and explain while we kind of get things set up here. So as you can see, I have my Adobe Illustrator pulled up with the design for the deck box, and on it is a couple things that I had built so that way you can you can line it up. So design of the deck box is supposed to be built into two parts, one for an outer box and an inner box. The inner box will be glued into the outer box so that way it's in there and secure, and so that way when the lid goes on and stuff, it still is flush and smooth. Ultimately, I still plan on adding a magnet to it, but that's going to be, I think, in a different video because I still need to figure out exactly how I'm going to place it. But today we're just going to do a test fit and see if the design works. The main way I always test my designs is I take the image I have and I line it up into here. And as you can see, it's lining up really nice and snug. And if you're wondering about this overlap, that's because this piece will technically come over onto this piece. So this edge technically runs over into here. Make sure everything's flush and where it needs to be. So that's the deck box design. Go ahead and put that back where it needs to go. It's just my work area lined up. But we're going to come over here into the XCS application. We're going to go ahead and the DXF file. You could use a PNG if you really want to, but DXF is actually much better when it comes to laying stuff out. So at the moment, I am just going to group these. Then I need to delete those. These need to here. That. That. All right. So now I have these. We have the files here. I need to double check to make sure there's no two lines. So something that's happened in the past is when I take these files out of Adobe Illustrator and put them into DXF and bring them over, there's sometimes a secondary, there's multiple layers. I'm hoping with this, there shouldn't be because it literally is the way it was designed. It was just using one layer. So let me go ahead and just delete. Nope. Okay. Why I do this is just to make sure, because when you're running it, all of a sudden you're running the laser over the product twice, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. It can help just make sure things get cut. Somebody's talking about me. It's probably you guys talking on the video here. That's probably what it is. Yeah, anyway, it's just to make sure that things should be perfect. I'm liking the way it's looking. Pretty confident that there's not any duplicates. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to then take this real quick and we're going to switch this to a cut. Switch this because it is 3mm basswood. So we're going to this here, confirm. Now, something I am going to do, granted, it's going to be inside the box, so it's not going to be overly noticeable, but I'm still going to know, and it's going to bug the hell out of me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some blue tape, some of the Scotch blue tape, and I'm going to tape off one of the sides that's going to be bottom. So when it gets cut with the honeycomb, you're not going to have all those burn marks on the wood. Okay. So now that we have the machine in, I always like to mark out the processing area and distance I could technically, well, distance you want to do no matter what. But we're going to go ahead and get that going. It's a really simple process. So I'm going to go ahead and get the thing set up and positioned, and you'll see it here as I click on the different options. So as you can see, the red mark moved on the screen. That is where the laser's pointer is at, where you would actually, like, that's where it would laser. But we're going to do this for the auto measure. Now that that's done, we're going to go ahead and we're going to mark the processing area. Obviously, we're just going to do a rectangle via rectangle, and super easy process. All right. So, yeah, end the marking here, and we're done. Marking area is now defined. So now, whoops, Control Z. Now we have everything here, and we're going to go ahead and move this into the field. I'm trying to leave a section blank that I can always use later on for a scrap or test piece material. So, got that lined up. With it all set. Need to make sure. So, the cool thing is you can keep these different items on the field, but you have to make sure that their output is turned off. So that way they won't get part of the process for the extra things. But as for right now, I'm also going to go ahead and change this color. Go red for inner, and we're going to go green for so we're going to cut. I'm going to do an offset by 0.03. No, 1.02 is what I ran it at last time. So what the curve offset does is it allows your material to get that much. So the laser itself is going to cut off material. You're going to lose material during the cut. So because of that, you want to make sure that material still matches and fits. And so this is going to still make sure it fits snug and not loose, because you don't want to personally, I don't want my cards to be put into a box that's loose. You want it to be in a pure spot. So we're going to make sure that that sets. And we're going to go from there. So we got set for power for 100, speed 15 millimeters a second. And yeah, should be an easy to go setup. So let's go ahead and get that running. And go ahead and go to start. 34 minutes, 15 seconds long. Let's go ahead and cut to that B-roll and get the box cut. Okay, so that was completed. Fairly simple, fairly easy. Pulled it off and put the other piece on there. I prepped it while the running. Saved me time and effort, you know. You want to make sure that's good. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and group this, and we're going to move this out of the way. All right, that should line up. Now this outer box obviously is going to give us much extra and scrap, so let's keep what it is. So to go to process, cut, everything, and it should be roughly around the same time because it's slightly bigger, so it'll be probably closer to 5 minutes at most. Oh, wait a minute, it's telling me that that needs to be turned. green output on. And make sure you put the right input on, and luckily enough, it won't start until you have the right ones because it won't what it's doing. So let's go ahead and go to process and let's get that started. Let's go. All right, so now we have the box. We have the parts to it. Doing a quick little test fit before I go through and glue it, and it looks like it's working fine. For the moment, I'm still gonna run the super glue that I have. I've been thinking about different glues for future projects and what I want to run. Because it is a wood material, it's got grains and stuff to it, it should stick pretty well with the super glue and shouldn't have any problems. So far, the stuff I've done with some boxes I built for some Christmas stuff, but that could always be different if that's, there's something wrong with it. So let's go ahead and test this all glued together and we'll see what happens. So I'll be back in a minute and we'll go from there. I have the box. It is glued. It is very pretty. Except I did one thing. Tell? Can you tell? Can you tell? So the glove I was wearing ended up getting some glue on it and happened to be on the spot long enough that it tore off. Then I tried to sand down the edges. I personally like this black burnt look on the outsides, but I can see the appeal of it being clean like that. Like, to be honest, it's actually really, really refreshing, and it's a really good design. Like, when you look at this here and here, it's yeah. But anyway, so the box itself, so it sits open. So as you see, the inside sits here. I may need to make the box that goes inside just a smidgen smaller, like 1% or less, maybe 0.5%. Just because it was a little bit snug to get it pressed in, which, don't get me wrong, that's kind of what you want, but at the same time, mainly because a piece kind of broke up here anyway when I was gluing the outsides, it kind of helped to spread that a little bit, and it kind of broke it. So there's like a little edge right here along the spot where it got stuck because I was re-gluing where the piece kind of separated, the wood itself separated, and so I kind of re-glued that down. So, but for a first box, for a first deck box, it's really pretty good. I actually really like it. Like, cards I don't care about throwing in. It was still drying. So all these off. Put it in. Voila. I'm going the wrong camera. So sitting there quite nicely. I mean, obviously, if you're not running sleeves, but if you're running sleeves, you're gonna have enough for your whole commander deck sleeved and then more. So it'll be 100 plus more deck box. Probably about 120 to 130 cards maybe fit in here. So, but this is the first one I ran. This one will be the start to what I hope to build. I'm going to make this slight adjustments, and then I'm going to be adding designs. So stay tuned for the video on video 2 where I, put some designs on these. I'm actually going to do it before the cut happens in the first place, so that way the design's there, and then you just piece it together. so that way you know where each piece goes. But yeah, thank you for watching the Dex box build video, and hopefully you'll stick around, subscribe, maybe give it a like if you liked it, for video 2, part 2 of this anyway, where I put the designs on here. Yeah, I'll see you guys next time.